We also have what's called our Social Services Block Grant and also what's called Title III, which is part of the Older Americans Act. Those do not require that you have those activities of daily living. You don't have to meet those qualifications. However, all it provides basically at our agency is homemaker services. It might provide attendant care to help with a bath. And in addition, that waiting list for those services is probably about 2 years long. The waiting list for the choice services is about 1 year, depending on the county that you live in. It may be less, but right now it's about a year is what we tell people. Okay, for the Medicaid waiver, the state wants us to say that there is no waiting list, but in reality, you're always limited by the amount of funding that you have because you can only hire so many staff. And if you don't have staff to get to all those people that have been referred to you, then there's sort of a waiting list, even though it's not called a waiting list. So it's relatively quick. Okay, here's another kicker for you. For choice, you have to apply for Medicaid and be denied. Now remember that Medicaid is $674 a month and $1,500 in assets. So if your loved one meets that, they might qualify for Medicaid. So you want to be denied in order to get on choice. That's the point there. For aged and disabled waiver, you do have to, once again, apply for Medicaid and be accepted. The kicker on that one is you can't really apply for Medicaid before because, as I said, the income limit is $674. But the aged and disabled waiver income limit is $2,022. So you're going to get rejected if you apply without being on the aged and disabled waiver, which means you have to wait until you're approved for the waiver before you can apply. But also, if you do call, that is the information we'll need. We'll need Social Security, income, assets, what they can and cannot do, their doctor, if they have Medicaid already, their Medicaid number, all those kinds of things. So it's a lengthy process, and you are welcome to come in if you want to walk in. Sometimes it's nice to have you make an appointment. Those are our in-home services that we offer, yes.
You explained the 674 versus 2020 again.
Okay. For regular Medicaid, that's the income limit is the $674. So if you have over that, you're not going to qualify, except that you could have a spend down. So if you actually have an income of $874, but you have a lot of medical expenses, like $200, then you would have to spend $200 on your own medical expenses before Medicaid would kick in and start paying your medical expenses. Okay, recently, what was that, 2 or 3 years ago, probably, they raised, it used to be that for aged and disabled waiver, you had to meet that income requirement as well, but they decided that they would take that up to 300% of that limit. So that 300% is the 2022. But they still maintained the assets at $1,500. Now, something that I do want to tell you about, and that's the Spousal Impoverishment Protection Program, just as an idea that if that's an issue where you have both spouses living together and combined their income is more, there might be a way that we could go ahead and get them on that due to that program. I won't go into it anymore because it's not really our service. But now, one of the other programs that we do have as far as in-home services is our Family Caregiver Program. The difference in that is that the services provided are temporary and intermittent, where with these programs go on as long as the person is at home and still qualifies. So as long as they live. Now, if they go into a nursing home, then they obviously stop. But those can continue. With the Family Caregiver Program, it is temporary and intermittent, meaning we will only spend a certain amount. Also, With these, the client is actually the care recipient. So if it's your mother you're caring for, she is the client. With this program, the person that we're focusing on is you as the caregiver. So what we're trying to do is give you respite, give you a break, or provide some kind of supplemental service that might assist you in your caregiving duties. So once again, we're only going to spend a certain amount. That respite might be 4 hours a week so that you could get out and get your hair done, go visit with friends, go to the library, whatever it might be, just so you get a break. With this